Hi guys, welcome to another video. This time we're looking at the Olympic Mover 180. The 180 is 180 kilo weight limit. This is a piece of transport equipment, shall we say. It's for moving somebody from A to B. The person needs to be able to stand somewhat. Maybe they can stand but they're a bit unsteady on their feet. Maybe walking is the issue and taking a few steps. So we have these perching paddles here. So once somebody's stood up, we can move the paddles down into position, they can perch, and then we can move them from A to B, whether it's bed to chair, chair to bed. It's the sort of thing that can be used for slightly longer distances. So in a care home setting, maybe it's the only piece of equipment that will fit through the doorway to get them to the dining room, for example, if their wheelchair won't fit through doorways. Generally, it's used for shorter distance transfers. So wheelchair to armchair, armchair to wheelchair, wheelchair to commode, bed to chair, etc. So we'll have a look at the equipment. I'll start at the bottom, work my way up, and then I'll just show you briefly with myself. I'm here on my own today, just how it works. So the rear casters are braked. We can operate them either with a foot, pushing down and lifting up, or with your fingers if you prefer. If you've got a nice new pair of shoes you don't want to ruin, you can use your fingers on there. They're really easy to do. They are double casters as well, which means that they will move more freely on a carpet. So they sink in less into a standard type of carpet, certainly in a care home setting or a domestic setting. On the back here we have an open and close for the legs. So it's a manual opening. One side says open, the legs will open. The other side says closed, obviously, and that will close the legs. That's for going obviously around your armchairs, your wheelchairs, etc. Generally, when we're moving the equipment, we'll have the legs in the closed position because it's easy to maneuver and certainly fitting through doorways. Unless you've got specially widened doors with the legs open, you're going to struggle to get through a doorway should you need to. We have the foot plate on the base here, and this is also removable. So we can actually use this for standing to the floor. So if somebody, for example, was going to the toilet, but the toilet's a bit too low for them to stand from, we could use this just as a standing frame. We could introduce it, lift off the foot plate and remove it completely, and it allows them to stand to the floor. Once they're up, they may be actually able to walk. So we don't need this anymore. But for those general use, if I can pop that back onto that, the person would stand onto the foot plate and be able to be maneuvered around their own home, around the hospital, around the care home, etc. The knee pad is all soft and padded. So that's a shin block or a knee pad, depending on the person. The top here we have the paddles, and these are swing around, so these will swing round into position to form a perching seat for somebody to be able to perch, sit down, be moved from A to B. They will stand up, we'll remove these out of the way, and then they can be sat back down onto a different piece of equipment or back onto the same chair, toilet, etc. There are options. Little clips on here are optional extras. We have a sling that fits on this, which is like a back support. It doesn't assist in lifting, it doesn't assist somebody to stand. It's just once they're up and perched, if you're moving them any particular distance and they're feeling a bit unsteady or a bit unsure, we can put a back support behind them, clip it onto there and adjust how much support they receive. Very rarely used, but if you have a particular person, a client that is very nervous and very frightened about being moved and a bit unsure, we can offer that belt to go with them. So if I just bring the chair in, just to show you the positions that we'll get it into. Let's bring the chair into shot there. I'll have the legs in the open position to come around. So a carer would bring this in towards me and ask me to put my feet onto the foot plates. You may have a couple of carers doing this, and the person may need a bit of extra support, so they may need to be able to have their leg lifted onto there. Most people using this can stand, and therefore they can actually get their feet onto the foot plate. We'll bring it into position around the person, and then they can hold on at the side or the front, whatever's comfortable for them, and get themselves up into standing. So all they need to do is physically stand. Now I should point out as well, if there was a carer there, they would have activated the brakes. Obviously I haven't because I'm on my own. Now, if somebody can't fully stand, all they need to do is be able to get up into a particular position. So let's say they get into this sort of position, we can then, the carer can slide these around under the bottom and I can just sit down and relax. And I can sit here quite happily now, holding on, potentially with a back support if I need it. The carers can now take the brakes off, move me from A to B. Once we get there, again, I can stand up if I'm able. If not, I just need to take some weight off. So even if I can just lift my bottom just very slightly, the carers can then move the paddles one at a time, and I can then sit back down onto whichever piece of equipment we've arrived at. It's a really simple thing to use. The person should be able to stand themselves with minimal assistance. They go, we paddle, and then we move them from A to B. So I hope that's okay. If you've got any questions, information will be coming up straight after this. Give us a call, drop us an email, and we'll answer any queries you have. Thanks for watching.